Most analysts think that the analytics is just a set of known steps that start from data and end with a professional dashboard. But the reality is way different and starts even before data and ends beyond the dashboard. In this video, I will help you understand the analytics journey from raw data to decisions and even before the raw data, and will help you to understand the workflow of the business analytics. If you are interested in learning more about business analytics and developing the critical mindset, this is the right place and this is the right course for you. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification to get the next lessons in order. And if you like the video, support it with a like and share to reach to the people who need the same contents. Prepare something to write notes. The notes that you will take during this course will be very helpful. Hi everybody. In this video, you will understand the analytics workflow, the 7 analytics workflow. There are 7 main steps. The first step is to define the problem, and the output will be business question and success criteria. The second step is to collect the data. The output will be the raw data from source systems. The third step is clean and prepare. The output is cleaned typed data. The fourth step is modeling, and you will get a schema as output. The fifth step is the analysis. The output will be insights, trends, and the correlations. The sixth step is visualize, and here you will generate dashboards or reports. The seventh step is present, and here you will deliver recommendations. Let's talk more about each step. Defining the problem. Defining a problem is really a critical step. Here you will understand the core problem, the real cause. If you don't understand the root cause very well, you will take the incorrect pathway in solving the problem, which means you will get insights for a different problem which may not exist. You will provide recommendations for a fake problem, although you will exert a lot of effort to do this analysis. That's why defining a problem is a very critical step, and you will take time to do that, and it deserves that time. In this step, you will understand the business question, the real business question, and the success criteria. We have another video to define the problem to understand the root cause and how to define the problem. The second step is collecting data. From here, we'll start working with data, but that wasn't the first step. That comes after defining the problem. Because actually, when you correctly define the problem, you will understand which data you need to collect and from where you will get the right data that is relevant to your analysis. You will collect raw data from different sources. And for that, you need to identify the possible sources of the data and how to get this data. When you get the raw data, in most cases, this data will be messy and need some cleaning and preparation. It may include typo errors, misspelled data, inconsistent data, missing data, a lot of blanks, lot of duplicates. All of these are serious issues that will affect your decision at the end because they will generate wrong reports. By the end of this step, you will get a clean dataset as an output. Step 4 is modeling. It's very important to model your data, to set a model that will be very helpful in generating the reports later, and to understand your core data and the data that is related to the core data. The output from this step is a structured data model. This structured data model can be in the form of a star schema. It is called a star schema because it has a fact table which contains the core data, and other related tables are linked to that fact table. These terminal tables are called dimensions table. They contain the data that is related to the core data, and at the end, this model, as you see, form a star-like shape. The fifth step is the analysis, to analyze your data. Here you will use the different analytics tools, and it will depend on the applications that you will use, whether you are using Excel, Power Query, whatever you will use, SQL. You will use the available tools of the application. As an output of this step, you will get insights and you will discover trends of the data. You will identify correlations within the data. The sixth step is visualization, to visualize your data. In this step, you will grab what you get to the light. And this step should be simple but impressive. The output of this step is reports and dashboards. The idea behind visualization is to deliver the information in the simplest way to the stakeholders who may not understand what is behind the scene. They don't need to understand the tools that you used. They don't need to understand the functions that you used. They don't need to understand what you did in the previous steps. They just need to see a proof of what you are saying. For example, you were asked to provide recommendations to increase the sales in the next quarter because the sales was dropped. So you will provide recommendations at the end of the analysis. For example, we need to generate offers, we need to provide training for the staff, we need to increase the production of certain products. All of these are recommendations, but you need to prove why you say that. And you will say reasons. What will prove your claims? This is the rule of the dashboards and your work. To deliver your idea, what you discover, and the proof of your claims in simple visuals that the stakeholders don't need to understand the deep analysis to understand these visuals. Present. At the end of the journey, you need to present your finding. Imagine that you identified the root cause correctly and you did amazing analysis and professional visualization that in a while can deliver and prove your claims and will deliver the discoveries that you discover. But your presentation wasn't so good, will mean that you are flapping off all your work. So presentation is also a critical step. As an output, you will provide recommendations and the action plan. The presentation needs to be organized and to the point. It is not surprising that step 1 and step 7 will take about 50% of the analysis time. And they deserve that time. If you don't define the correct problem, you will come up with incorrect recommendations and action plan. If you make everything correct and your presentation is poor, it means that you lose all the effort that you did in your presentation. And it may come up with losing your work as well. Therefore, you need to pay specific attention to these steps and to allow yourself a reasonable time to do these steps. Let's have an example. If your manager needs to see a report of all sales, first you need to define the real problem. To define the real problem, you will need to figure out what is the problem, what is the required decision, and how will we measure the success. Answering these questions will help you define the real problem. After defining the problem, you find that the sales are dropped by 15% in East Vancouver in the last 3 months. And we need to know the reason to enhance the performance before the coming quarter. This is a more precise description of the problem. And this description of the problem will help us later to develop the correct reports, to develop the correct analytical tools, to discover the correct insights. And in previous videos, I explained in details how to identify the problem. And it's really worth to have a look at them. That's all for today. I hope that will be easy. Now you understand the different steps of the analysis. It is not just starting from data and applying analytical tools. It's actually understanding the problem and understand why we do that and what we can get and which tools are possibly useful to get these insights. Now it's your turn. I need you to think in a case study. Imagine that you are working on HR attrition. A company has a problem that employees attrition is increased in the last quarter. We need to understand the problem to reduce the attrition rate. What I need you to do is to start, write the 7 steps, imagine what you will get as an output from each step, and I need you to write to me in which step you are now.